Reena, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Thank you.
Now, Reena, if you suspect or know that someone that you love is experiencing domestic violence, you may be unsure about what to do. You might be a little bit confused, and you might not know how to proceed. Should you do something? Should you not do something? Is this a private matter? Will you get in trouble for intervening in some way? So what is your advice for somebody in that situation? I know that you deal with people who are experiencing domestic violence on a regular basis, so I'm sure you have a lot of useful advice for us.
Right. So Safiyyah, you mentioned the word private there, right? And the first thing I want to bring our attention to is that, a lot of people say it's a private matter. That's why we didn't get involved. What I would like people to do is really challenge your assumptions and thoughts about that. If you know that somebody's experiencing IPV or DV, is it really a private matter? Isn't it our collective responsibility to make sure that somebody in our community is not being harmed? What about the vulnerable? What if there's a child there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So really question your assumptions around, is DV really a private matter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I do understand that people do get scared of what to do because they may not know what to do. And this is why, places like Sakina Canada, Nisa Homes, we exist so that people can contact us and get advice on how best to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Usually what we tell people is, if you know somebody is in imminent danger, so real danger, sometimes you're on the phone with somebody and they're screaming and crying because the perpetrator is being violent and you know that they're in danger,
Mm-hmm.
your job is to call 911 at that time,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you're second guessing and you don't know because you're hearing things but you're unsure, I would say don't go in there and try to do something that could be more harmful to that person and their children.
Mm-hmm.
Contact organizations, contact the non-emergency lines, contact the domestic violence hotlines and figure out a plan. And again, if you're not comfortable, get us to do the job for you.
Mm-hmm.
We will do the job.
Is it important to have a conversation with the person and say something like, I noticed, something is different about you, something's changed, or I'm worried about you? I'm not really sure what you would say.
Right.
So I myself need your advice about what you would say in that situation.
Absolutely. Safiyyah, this is where you have to validate that person and be there, right? That person is looking for safety.
Mm-hmm.
It takes up to 7 times for a woman to successfully leave an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so our part is to be patient, to be there, to provide practical support, to provide resources, and to tell them that when you're ready, we will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Be very careful on how you interact with that person because the abuser is probably very close to the communication lines.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably monitoring their social media, their phone. And so ask that person, how would you like to communicate? Would you like text? Is there an app? Would you like to meet me at the park with your children instead?
Mm-hmm.
Are there codes that we can use? There are ways to make sure that that person continues to stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're ready, as I said, you can get them the help that they need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Reena, what would you suggest that somebody do in that situation where the person is telling them, I need help?
Right. So if the person is telling them, I need help, we have to ensure the person is safe first,
mm-hmm.
right? And so having that person meet you at a safe location so that you can talk about what help they need, right? You need their consent, first of all. Once they've given you that consent, ask them what they need. What does it look like? Can we contact NISA? Can we contact NISA helpline, Nasiha helpline? Can we contact Sakina Homes, NISA Homes? And can we create a safety plan? That's what we do. We create
mm-hmm.
safety plans to help these women leave safely.
Mm-hmm. Reena, what warning signs would somebody need to look out for in terms of, let's say they have a loved one or a close friend and they suspect that person is experiencing domestic violence?
Right. So a lot of the times, we want to look for changes in behavior, right? Like, is this person hypervigilant around their phone, reporting to their partner? Are they scared of coming out? Are they now canceling play dates that they used to come on before? Has their behavior changed? Have they become more quiet?
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing any sort of signs of injury? As Muslims, it's hard to tell sometimes because we are in, most of us are in a lot of clothing. But, if it's summertime and they're very layered up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see that in conjunction with the behavior change, these can be warning signs. Is somebody who once was very confident now lacking that self-esteem? Are their children not playing outside? Are their children withdrawn? You're looking out for changes in
mm-hmm.
behavior that has, sort of progressed over time.
Mm-hmm. I guess you have to be very close to that person to be able to notice that.
You can be very close, but sometimes, we even see women in our circles, in our masajids, and they are behaving different. You've seen them differently. Now they are being different, right? So even just asking them how they're doing,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an open open door to a conversation. Because as I said before, a lot of women that are facing domestic violence and IPV, it's very victim blaming. They're very afraid of people saying the wrong things or judging them. And so they keep it private for those reasons.
Reena, how can we make sure that we're supportive of that individual? Because sometimes we say the wrong thing, you know, and it's not even conscious. It's like some things just come up. Like we might say, like, what did you do to lead him to do that, right? What were you doing before that? Which suggests that the person is responsible for the perpetrator's actions, right? So how can we avoid blaming or, you know, making a person feel guilty while we're trying to help them? Because then that might do more damage than good.
Yes, that will make somebody second guess, right? And maybe they'll start questioning themselves, like, did I actually do something wrong? And at the shelter, that's what I see. When women first come in, I do hear statements like, maybe I should have been more patient, right? Maybe I did make him angry, or I was. And it takes time to work on those thoughts, right? So when we're dealing with somebody that we suspect is going through that type of abuse, we want to be safe. And what does safety mean? We want to validate. We don't want to judge, right? We want to listen to them and their story. So a lot of the times people will say things like, be patient, right? We all go through it. Those are things we want to avoid, right? It's not your story, it's their story. And so if we're willing to listen to them, then we should listen to them. If we can't, again, give them resources to go to the right places that will listen to them and get them the help that they need to get out.
I feel like sometimes one of the reasons people don't intervene is they think that there's going to be some risk attached to it for themselves or for their family. So for example, if they decide to shelter somebody who's escaping, right, it could result in the abuser coming to their home and doing something to their family, right? So there's always that worry that they could kind of embroil themselves into something bigger than they can handle.
This is why we exist. So you can call up shelters like Sakina Canada, Nissa Homes, and other shelters to help house these women that need the help. You may need to open your house for a day or so while they're in safety, right? Once you bring somebody to safety in your home, for instance, you can call these other organizations to take over and do their job, right? Think about what would happen if you didn't and something did happen to a woman and a child. Like, how would you feel that you knew what was happening, but you didn't do anything? Think about if it was someone that you loved, like your child, your daughter, your sister, and someone said to you, you know, Safiyyah, I knew that was happening, but I just didn't get involved because I thought it was a private matter and I just didn't want to get pulled into, you know, that drama. How would you feel, right? So your small step, even if it's getting that person to safety and then leaving it, that would be enough.
Reena, thank you for sharing with us today. Very insightful, and I hope that we can all be brave enough to take that step to help other people in that situation, as you are doing yourself in your work.
I hope so too. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Let the Quran Speak, I want to say thank you. You've helped us become the most widely watched Muslim TV show in Canada. I want to appeal to you to continue to support us. You can visit our website, QuranSpeaks.com. We also accept e-transfers to iGive at QuranSpeaks.com. And we're now on Patreon, so you can make a monthly contribution. May God bless you and your loved ones today and always.